It is fine. It'll be fine. We're all fine here.
Okay. Yeah, you didn't speak loud enough. It didn't switch back.
Yes,
we want
Star Wars quotes on the Star Trek podcast. That just sounds like perfect ideas.
Star Power Rangers Trek, yes. Okay. Trekker Rangers, yes. Yes, you are first, Ashley, though you had to wait for the stream elements. Oh, it still went through. Okay, nice.
Good job, Ashley.
Paul says good job, Ashley. Let's see.
I got it inside.
Yeah, you have the inside track on when we start, yes. Okay. Let's see here. I think. Oh, so now I'm gonna. There's a hand. Now we're gonna record 5 seconds of silence. Don't you need a second achievement, Paul? Don't mute yourselves. This is so that I can record your sort of ambient floor noise to remove in post-production. So we're gonna start that. I am recording, right? Yes, we're recording there.
I hope so.
Yeah. Okay, starting now.
Was that 5 seconds?
No, Paul J. Powers. Godzilla. Starting now.
Godzilla has an opinion.
All right, thank you guys.
Let's rock this jump.
Hiya! Okay. So we got the 5 seconds. Then I guess we'll just start here, guys. I have all that up. Thumbs up if you're ready to actually start the review. And let me go to this one. Come on, switch. I see thumbs up from everyone. Awesome. Except for Paul.
I was about to say it's amazing because I didn't have my thumbs up.
Everyone but Paul. Yes, psych. Are you ready, Paul, or you're not ready?
No, I'm almost there.
Okay.
All right. I think I'm... All right. Sorry.
No, you're
just
fine.
need a... Where are my notes?
Notes.
Nope, that's not it. That's it. Okay.
Notes?
Oh, I thought I was going to die.
Where we're going, we don't need notes.
Don't die.
Okay.
All
so
right.
You are ready now?
I'm ready.
Please don't die.
Okay. Starting now. I thought I was going to die.
Not possible. You were never alone. Please, Captain. Not while we have to record episode 321 of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro systems online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning room space-time for Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, 1989. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the science officer, PaulJPowers.com. Powers!
This is Captain PaulJPowers.com speaking. You are in violation of Neutral Zone Treaty. I advise you to release your hostages at once or suffer the consequences.
Wait, is that from this movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, of course it's from this movie.
What movie are we reviewing? Let's find out.
Let's find, yes. And so, in addition to Paul, of course, for the movie Star Trek V, which of course has Scotty getting prisoners.
Sure, it does have Scotty. Yes.
We also are glad to have for this discussion of the film our archives officer, Drew Dodgen. Hey, Drew.
Laddie, you don't have to worry about this movie. I know it like the back of my hand.
Okay, I guess you're Chekhov? I think that's, yeah.
No, that was actually Scotty.
No, I don't think so. I think that's Chekhov. And in addition to
What are you
Chekhov
standing around for? Don't you know a jailbreak when you see one?
/ Drew, we are glad to have aboard for the first time. He is Edna Mode. Dang it.
Edna.
I remember you sent this to me, Tim, and I forgot to put in the notes. So
Oh wow, the way to... professional professional
I mean,
podcast.
yeah,
host right here.
this never happens. This never happens. We're always just so professional, so like on point. But you know what? You caught me on an off night.
An off night.
And all.
What?
You heard me, Roy.
An off night. What? I really didn't hear you. Apparently, you're laughing at me. I don't know what to make of this.
Words are useless. Gobble, 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 gobble,
Gobble,
gobble.
gobble,
Too much of it, darling. Too much.
That's what makes it funny.
Oh my gosh.
I assumed you
I'm not
knew,
laughing.
darling.
Okay, let me try this again. End of edit mode. Hey, Sean, how you doing? And Baba. Okay. In addition to Drew, we are glad to have aboard for the first time. He's a gamer, sci-fi geek, and bassist at his local church. Welcome, and the person who picked Star Trek 4 for us, Reflex Capacitor, Tim Strauss.
Star Trek 4. Is that the
Should
movie
be
we're
5.
recording?
You know what?
He wishes
I'm
we watched Star
wishfully
Trek 4.
thinking here.
Admiral, there be whales here.
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Hold on while I go back. All right.
We're glad to have aboard Tim Strauss. Hey, Tim, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Francisco. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. So good.
Dang it,
No.
Tim, I'm a doctor, not a film reviewer.
And now that you have a quick flyby of who we all are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for Star Trek 5?
All right. Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home.
No, I
What?
misspoke
Oh, I
Just
before.
said it.
I know. That's why I said I misspoke. I'm sorry.
What? I didn't hear that
That could have been brought to my attention.
3 seconds ago. All right. Here we go. Star Wars Episode V, The Empire Strikes Back,
Wow.
directed by Irvin Kershner with writer.
Paul,
Yes.
Hey, now we've just made both the Trekkies and the Star Wars nerds mad.
it's Star Trek 5, not Star Wars 5.
Oh. All right. Star Wars 5.
No, Star Trek 5.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Okay, good. All right. Star Trek V: The Final Frontier.
Yes.
That one?
Yes, that's the
All
one.
right. Was released June 9th, 1989. Runs an hour and 47 minutes and is rated PG. It was directed by William Shatner and written by Gene Roddenberry, William Shatner, and Harve Bennett, with lead stars being Bill Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, The Forest Called Kelly, and many more. And music was composed by Jerry Star Trek Goldsmith.
Indeed.
Are you ready for the box office trivia?
So I am ready. Drew and Tim, are you guys ready?
Sure.
Indeed.
Awesome. Anyone in chat? Babo, Neko, Killer, you guys are welcome to join in as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. Star Trek V was made for about $30 million and earned over $70 million at the box office.
Well done, Star Trek.
Given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1989? And we'll go for the top 50.
Oh, 89. That wasn't a very good year for movies, so this
No.
probably did very well.
Yeah.
Let's start
We'll get
with
Batman.
let's start with-
Future 2.
Let's start with Tim. What's your guess?
Ooh, I'm gonna guess 12.
12. Okay. How about you, Drew?
25.
25.
Right in the middle.
And then let's see. I'm looking in chat. I don't see anyone guessing. Oh, Killer SCV guesses 5. Sean also guesses 12. Neko guesses 12. And Ashley says bad. It doesn't even get a number. Okay. Wow.
Wow.
For me, I'm
51. Gotcha.
wow. I'm going to guess. I'm gonna guess 33. Oh, and Bobo guesses 16. So, where did it actually end up, Paul?
So according to the-numbers.com, Star Trek V came in at 22.
22.
So I think Drew won.
Drew.
Drew
Well
won.
done,
Way
Drew.
to go, Drew.
Good job. Good job. And thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
A strange force has entered the galaxy. It could only mean one thing.
Greetings, Captain.
The vacation is over. Now the crew of the Enterprise
Enterprise, are you ready?
is taking you where no one has gone before.
You know we'll never make it through the Great Barrier.
Warp speed now.
Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. Rated PG. Starts Friday, June 9th at theaters everywhere.
That's
Wow,
right.
that didn't tell you anything about that movie.
It's a final frontier, obviously. I mean, we know everything I think we need to know about that film. But you know what? That's neither here nor there. I'm curious what we remembered about Star Trek V. So let's find out in our memory mind meld synopsis for Star Trek V, as Paul likes to say, The Final Frontier.
That's right. I didn't title it. They did. Don't blame me.
All right. So Paul, let's see if we can do this. Row, row, row your boat gently
Row,
down
row,
the stream. Merrily,
Row,
merrily,
row,
merrily, merrily.
row your boat.
Why did you? Thank you, Drew. Paul, why did you give up?
Because you were going to read the rest of the...
No. I think we're just
Oh,
gonna
I'm
do
sorry.
this.
I thought we were doing the memory mind meld. I didn't realize we were doing the...
No, but row, row, row your boat gently down Yosemite Stream. Laughing Vulcan thinks he's the Lord. Turns out he's both a lunatic and a liar. While Kirk falls off a mountain and is saved by Spock. Uhura's fan dances and Klingons attack out of nowhere during the Nimbus 3 rescue. What does God need with a starship? So Captain Kirk saves the universe from not God. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Wow. That was quite the memories, and as much as I wish it had gotten into C.S. Lewis quotes, it did not. So apparently our memories were decepted. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what reign did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Drew. What was your prediction for Star Trek V?
I predicted tragic.
Okay, and tragic. And when did you first see this? And I'll ask all of you, when did you first see this film?
There's a question. Mid-90s.
Mid-90s, okay.
It was a VHS that I rented.
Okay.
I own like 5 different versions of this film, by the way.
Oh, you must love it. So I'm surprised by that
No,
tragic.
I just like,
Wait, how many versions are there?
I say
And which
5.
one did I see?
VHS, DVD,
DVD,
Oh.
Blu-ray. I actually have 2 Blu-rays for some reason, so I have 4.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there's like
Okay.
a director's cut, a studio's cut, a Vulcan cut.
The Nimbus 3 Klingon attack cut.
Exactly.
The Almighty cut.
Oh my
Yeah.
Tim, where did what was your prediction, and when did you first see this film?
My prediction, I actually went with nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
But
okay.
it was probably about the mid '90s or so on TV.
Okay,
It was-
nice. Paul, how about you?
Didn't get a chance to see it in theaters when it first came out, so I watched it shortly thereafter, probably a couple years after. And I remember enjoying it. Not as much as the other movies, but I didn't think it was all that bad. But for some reason, I haven't seen it in like 30 years. And over that time, a lot of people have poured a lot of hate and visceral towards this movie. And it kind of influenced what I predicted of being tragic.
Oh, wow. Okay. So I only ever remember seeing like and not when it was released in theaters, as is Thanksgiving, with friends of my mom's. We went over to their place for Thanksgiving. I remember we just ate, and this came on like TNT or TBS or one of those stations. I remember having it on, and falling asleep like 10 minutes into the movie. So I haven't really seen this film ever for real. And I had no desire to see it. Much like Paul, I've always heard the odd numbered Star Treks are the worst ones. So I just went with the crowd, the wisdom of the crowd, and I predicted tragic as well.
Oh my.
So it'll be interesting to see if those predictions come true. But first, let's go get started into the things we liked most about Star Trek V. Alice, get us going here.
Best bits.
All right, and let's begin as we like to with our guests. And I'm going to start with Tim. What's something you liked about Star Trek V?
Well, something I liked about Star Trek V, and maybe it kind of seems maybe counterintuitive, but I like that it starts off with the Enterprise. You know, they're going through, I guess, like a refit of the ship. Everything isn't working right.
Yes, yeah.
And that's one thing I've noticed throughout my time watching Star Trek is anytime the ship doesn't work right, they've got to have some sort of creative way to come through and solve the problem instead of just like, oh, we're going to use a transporter or we're going to do this. So it's like it forces creativity upon the plot.
That's really good. I really like that. And I mean, speaking of creativity, I was actually something that made my like list. I was floored by the beauty of this poster of Star Trek V, which I found out.
Faces? Which poster? I've seen a few.
Oh, so this is the one that we actually have. I'll switch to the all cameras here. The one that has, the two faces and everything forms a V. Like it's very intentional, like 5V. I really.
You know what? I never noticed that. I was like, why didn't they use the Vulcan "Live Long and Prosper" as the V? But now I see the composition of the poster forms of V.
And I really like the color. I think it's really rich. I think the mystery of those raiders at the bottom is an interesting contrast with the futuristic starship. So I really like the story that the poster is telling. So that was my first like. What? Why are you laughing?
I really like the poster. Really well.
What did you like about the movie? Not the movie itself, but the marketing.
It's kind of like if they had stopped with the story of the poster this way.
I'm not saying one way or the other about any of that. Let's go with Drew next. What's something you liked? Was it the creativity of the marketing or something else?
I'm kind of combining two things into one. I'm calling it the little things.
Okay.
Because there are some little things they do in here that I think
missed the tribbles. Where were they?
Wow.
Oh, not those little things.
That would have been nice. No, but example of what I'm talking about is there's a scene at the very beginning of the movie where they're coming up on the Enterprise, and it's situated right in front of the moon. Is an absolutely gorgeous shot of the Enterprise. And I kind of wish it was in a better movie.
So, a note.
Stop showing your cards, Drew.
When I saw that, it is so blue. At least in the copy I have. I don't know if this is the Klingon copy or whatever. It was so blue. I thought it was a weird version of the Earth or some other planet. I didn't realize it was the moon.
Wait, I thought it was the Earth too. That was the moon.
So
that was the moon. I don't know how y'all are getting the Earth out of that.
Because it was so blue.
Yeah.
It was not that blue.
And why was it so big?
What crappy VHS rip did y'all watch?
I watched the Paramount Plus version, whatever was on there.
So and I listened.
I didn't see no blue moon.
I actually listened to the
and it wasn't over
commentary.
Kentucky either.
I actually listened to two commentaries, and one of them actually told me, "Oh no, wait, I love the reflection of the moon here." I'm like, "Oh, that's the moon." So,
I took it as the moon, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous.
Okay,
yeah, that's only half of this like.
They agree with you, by the way. Go ahead.
The other thing is, and I'm going to geek out as a Trekkie for just a moment, if I may.
No,
there is a scene
about as a Trekkie for the whole episode, but go ahead.
You know what I mean. About right as they're getting ready to get into the barrier, it has that scene where Kirk is watching them come up on it, and he looks down on that plates in that observation deck that says "Where no man has gone before."
On the rudder, thing.
On the ship steering wheel, the old wooden one. Yeah.
So here's a fun little interesting fact. This is not the first time the Enterprise has come up against that barrier, or not that particular barrier, but a barrier like it, because in the second pilot episode of the original series, also called Where No Man Has Gone Before, they went through the barrier at the edge of the galaxy.
Oh, interesting.
And created a false god that they had to fight off. So it all is in circles.
Oh, yeah, Gary Mitchell, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, Gary Mitchell.
Which I think would have been is probably my favorite fan theory of if any of the godlike creatures that the original series ran into would have went off and became this quote unquote god in the center. My favorite fan theory is that it was him that went off with that girl that he went off with, that they explored.
She somehow reverted back at the end.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, it's been a while since I've seen that. But yeah, that Gary Mitchell was actually that turns out to be God in the middle. They should have revealed that. That would have been amazing.
Admittedly, I did just rewatch the episode last year, as I'm currently working through all of Star Trek right now, and I'm like in the middle of Next Generation. So
nice.
Yeah,
but actually, that was my first was the plaque there on the steering wheel. To say
you guys are giving me guff about my poster.
This was actually in the movie.
All right, that's fair.
In the movie, and it relates not just to this movie, but to the franchise as a whole.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
because
Bob Peak
is going where no man has gone before.
Bob Peck made the Star Trek the motion picture poster also. So hey, he's part of the series. Yeah, that's right. I'll take your silence as acceptance of my good like. Okay, continue, Paul.
No, I said it. It was also my first like.
Oh, was just the plaque? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was great.
All right, that's cool. Let's go back to Tim. What's something else you liked?
And sorry.
Well, you are the master interrupter, and you haven't been showing your mastery very.
I know that was very rude to our guest, but you asked me to add something. I forgot. I did want to add something. I thought it was cool the fact that they were going to the center of the galaxy where actually no man had gone before, which is actually hard to do in the Star Trek universe, where all the places they've been.
Yeah.
So the fact that they were able to do that and reference that, I thought was a great tie-in.
Okay, cool. Okay, now back to Tim. What's something else you liked?
Oh, let's see. I guess I like the kind of one of the themes of like the importance of family.
Oh, interesting. Like, where did that come out for? Where did that come out for you?
Well,
I mean, I can think of.
You could, of course, you could obviously look at the, and of course, obviously, spoiler territory.
Yes.
Between full spoilers.
Cybok and Spot.
Yeah,
sure.
Okay. Oh yeah. Now here we go. Half brothers. Whatever. But it's really more like the fact that the Enterprise crew. Is a family.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And it's kind of like as Kurt points out at the end. It's like when he says, "Oh no, I had my family." It's like, "What family? You said you didn't have time for family." It's like, no. It's not out there. It's here. It's you. You're my family. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
So
that is good.
When he said, "I've also lost a brother," and I know a lot of non-Star Trek fans think, or they might remember Spock dying and referring him to him. But to me, I thought Sam Kirk.
That's exactly where I went to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He lost a brother.
But at the point where he said, "I lost a brother," and before he paused before he said, "But I got him back," and everyone's thinking, "Oh, he's talking about Sam."
But he did get him back because they brought him back in Strange New Worlds.
I thought they were talking about Spock this whole time.
No, but they brought it back to the airways.
Oh well, yeah.
And if we're going to go into that,
I guess that's a reach. But I guess
Cybok talk about their adopted human sister.
Yeah. Where's that conversation?
Okay. All you Trekkies, help me out here, because I don't know these things.
I don't know if we can.
Wow. Do your best. So, James T. Kirk actually does have a biological brother. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And his name is Sam Kirk. But he died, or he didn't die?
Yes.
No, he
died to a bunch of space jellyfish.
That was back during season 1 of the original series.
Yes.
Hey, Francisco, guess who played his brother?
Himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
With a beard.
Oh,
with a
my
beard.
word. Okay. So he has an actual brother. And so I guess if you don't know that, like I assumed he was talking about Spock because Spock
most
dies
of
and
the
comes back.
movie-going audience would
He
assume
is,
that as well.
and
yeah.
in reality, he is talking about Spock.
Oh,
Right,
okay.
Right.
Which is confirmed when he says, "But I got him back."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
like, okay, you're talking about Spot.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Right.
I'm
Forget
surprised.
Sam. Sam's just been dead for 20 years. We're just gonna forget you ever had a
Way to
brother.
dance on his grave.
I feel like even
Right.
more important than that is his son dying. And so I feel like I'm surprised that didn't come up. But
No, that's next episode.
Yeah.
wait,
I
what?
can never forgive them what they did to my boy.
No, he died in 3, I thought.
Yeah, but they reference that
he
in number
gets mad
6.
at the Klingons in 6 for the death of his boy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have we even covered 6? I'm not sure. I
Yes.
think we had
Yes.
My first episode of Retro
some
Rewind.
guy on it from an animation podcast, I think. I don't know. Yeah. Yes, I know.
Wait, that's
Drew.
the guy with Tron in it, but he's a Klingon. Wait, that's this one, but he's not a Klingon.
He's not a Klingon.
Yeah, this one he's a human.
Wait,
Yeah,
Barry
this was before the
Boxleitner is
transformation.
in.
Oh, are we talking about David Warner?
Yeah,
David Warner.
Oh,
yeah. That's why he's talking with the Klingon at the beginning. We don't see that he's negotiating like the transfer of his cells to conform to the Klingons.
Wait,
right?
David Warner's also in 6?
Yes.
Yes, he's the Chancellor of the Klingon High Council.
Chancellor Gorkon.
Wait, is he a Klingon in that?
Yes. And you wonder why Kirk doesn't say, "Hey, what happened?"
Okay.
Oh no, he is.
And
he's
how'd you
very-
get a Klingon daughter so fast?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for bringing me up to speed on all of that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was Tim's like, I believe,
Yes.
right? Which now I'm so lost in the weeds, I forget what your actual like was. Tim, can you remind me of it real quick?
So yeah, my likes were the fact that
Family.
the ship was broken and they had to be creative.
Yep.
And that the importance of family.
Family. Okay.
Right.
Thank
This
you.
is the Fast and Furious in space. It's all about family.
Gotcha. Speaking of family, I often think of Paul as a brother from another mother. Paul, what's one thing you liked about this film?
You know, I
another
was
thing.
actually impressed with the guy that they got to play Cybok, Lawrence Luckenbill.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job of carrying the movie.
No
He
Sean
was in a lot
Connery,
of
but yeah.
scenes. Huh?
No, I said no Sean Connery, who they were originally going to have. but
Yeah, they originally wanted Sean Connery, which I found in the commentary, which would have been cool, you know.
Mhm.
Show me your pain. Like it would've been- the line must be drawn here. Like, I don't know.
Which is why they named the planet Shakari.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Yes.
Sean
Exactly.
Connery. So,
Yeah. So
Cybok.
but despite them not being able to get Sean Connery because he was too busy filming the #1 movie of the year, which was Last Crusade,
Yeah.
I thought Lawrence Luckenbill did a great job of carrying, especially for a no-name, to carry the film as well as he did,
Yeah.
and the attention.
Well, I mean, he'd been on TV a bit by that point.
But he's not going to sell tickets like
Yeah.
like Connery would. But
Not like
yeah.
Sean Connery would.
Fair.
Yeah.
he's not putting butts in seats. Let's just
Right.
be honest
Not
about that.
so much.
Right.
But
But
Still trying to
I agree with
pick
Paul.
up
I think he did a really good job with
Yeah.
what he had to work with. There.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. He felt very committed. Like, yeah, he played it very earnestly, I'll say.
Yeah.
Not super related to that, but more to the Sean Connery aspect, I guess, is my next like. And that's, I actually liked the lore or the mystery they set up of Shakari. I thought that was a cool thing. I forget though, is Shakari the planet or is it the god? It's the Eden.
The planet.
Right? The planet.
planet.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's the planet. Okay.
It's the area where life began.
That's right.
Because it's supposed to be like Eden and human, quote
right,
unquote.
which doesn't make sense
mythology.
because Eden
It
was on
doesn't.
Earth.
Yeah, exactly. But
Oh wait, we're not to our dislikes yet. Sorry,
we're not
go
to our
ahead.
spiritual speculation yet. But I thought that was a cool bit of lore that we find out about the different cultures in the Star Trek universe. So I enjoyed that, having that element to sort of chew on and think about. But that leaves Drew before we get to our classic makers. So Drew, what's one more thing you liked?
I believe it or not, I really do like the music in this because I am a fan of Jerry Goldsmith,
Mhm.
and I'm much more of a fan of the motion picture soundtrack than this one.
Mm.
But this uses so many of the musical cues from the motion picture.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
fact,
really
it's-
appreciate, especially with the Klingon battle. Anytime the Klingons
Yes.
are doing something, and my favorite moment of that is, when they're all staring at the planet Shakari, and the camera zooming past all of them, heading towards that one computer monitor at the very back, where that shows the Klingons have made it through the barrier too, and you can just hear, just barely in the music, a few notes of the Klingon battle theme kind of play through there while it's going through this big.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
I doubt.
Did you watch that version, Francisco? Because that's the cut I saw.
I guess I missed that, Paul.
I agree with Drew. I did enjoy the music for the most part. My favorite actually, Q, was they took at one point, I think they revealed what the space station or something, but they slowed down the main theme like this. I thought it was grand and glorious that you normally don't hear.
Gotcha. For whatever reason, so if we're just talking about Star Trek soundtracks, I just much prefer the updated 2009 version. Dun, 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 dun.
Okay, you're a fan of Giacchino. Moving on.
Yes.
Okay, no, that is a good one.
I'm just saying I really like it. I prefer that.
I'm giving you a hard time because I didn't get to be on that episode.
Fair enough.
I did think that version. I think that theme did fit that particular movie with the energy and everything that went with it. So
but you bring up a good point. What's everyone's favorite best Star Trek theme of all time? Because the TNG, that's probably my favorite.
Okay.
Well, that's just the motion
which
picture
is
theme.
I was about to say, which is the motion picture. Yeah. So
wait, the Next Generation theme is the motion picture theme?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to the Star Trek universe, Francisco.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, pretty much it is.
It's slightly different, but it's close enough.
Oh, okay, okay.
If we're talking movies, pretty much anything in the motion picture, I think, is a great soundtrack. If we were reviewing that one, that would be the soundtrack is my classic maker.
Oh wow!
But what's your theme? Is that your favorite theme?
The Enterprise, which is basically the Star Trek, the main theme
of the show Enterprise or this.
TV show wise,
I'm talking about all Star Trek lore.
Honestly, Deep Space Nine's theme.
Okay.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay. I like Voyager's theme, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Enterprise's theme because I can sing along with it. But
it actually has words. Yeah.
Good 90s cheese.
How about you, Tim?
Well, of course, probably just because it's the one I grew up with initially, would be the Next Generation theme. But I do have to agree with Drew. Deep Space Nine is a very close second.
Okay, nice. And what would you say, Paul?
Yeah, TNG for me, but my second is the 2009
soundtrack
main theme.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's sing our way.
Also, I will say Strange New Worlds theme is good too, but that's just to get a modern bent in there.
Speaking of music, let's sing our way into the classic makers of Star Trek 5, The Final Frontier. Drew.
Take my love, take my land, take me where I cannot stay.
Why are you twisting the dagger?
Wrong space show.
Yeah, much better space show. Drew, what was your classic maker?
My classic maker is the campfire scenes.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. It's because throughout most of Star Trek, it's especially the original series, it is about Kirk and Spock and McCoy. It's that friendship and that relationship. But we never really get to see them kind of laid back and just just talking and being friends.
Yeah.
Until this movie.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that both at the beginning and the end. I mean, everyone makes fun of the row your boat, but I just find that heartwarming.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
The whole thing with Spock mispronouncing the word marshmallow.
Yeah, marshmallow.
Which is a joke that went nowhere, but I still find that funny.
Yeah.
But
so the people they said it's actually in the novelization.
Yeah,
there's a joke behind it.
Somebody when Spock went to go look up what to do at a campfire, someone had hacked his system to replace all the words of marshmallow with marshmallow.
As a prank.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. And Spock wouldn't have a clue. He's just
right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which
is a marshmallow.
By the way, that marshmallow container that Spock had in that.
I want one.
Get that at the time.
Well, isn't that just like a portable replicator or something?
Probably, but you could get a buy a marshmallow dispenser from one of whoever the Star Trek was partnering with.
It was Kraft at the time. Yeah.
Oh, you mean you could actually buy that in real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was just a dispenser and it could hold maybe about 6. So why on earth?
No, I need one that actually makes the marshmallows from atoms.
No, that doesn't make marshmallows. It makes marshmallows.
Fine, make me some marshmallows from atoms.
Take some marshmallows. Come on. They're good enough for Spot. They're good enough for me.
Yeah.
Tim, what was your classic maker for Star Trek V: The Final Frontier?
And I guess, this could be one of the, that's kind of an
feel
obvious
free
thing.
to say Drew is wrong with his classic maker. That's fine. Don't worry about stepping on his toes. It's okay.
It's very subjective, so we're gonna. But and I have to say the interaction with God.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And not just because of the what does God need with the starship, but it's just kind of there's some more stuff into it.
Yeah.
You can really dig into, and it's like, ooh,
yeah,
okay, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
Although I think I did see there was a Shatner actually wanted a version where part of the final chase scene where he's running from God, is he wanted a rock monster, to fight a rock monster on his.
Yeah, so that came out. Actually, there's actually a story behind that. The original script, it was supposed to be Satan, and the studio executives are like, yeah, we're not doing that. And then they said, well, how about it's someone who's not God but pretending to be? That's an alien. They're like, okay, we're fine with that.
We can do that.
We're so as this not God, as they're running away from not God, these creatures were supposed to come out of the rocks, and they were supposed to be like gargoyles and all these kinds of creatures made from rocks, and they were supposed to run in and attack them. And Shatner wanted like 20, and the studio said, well, we'll give you 10. And then later, like, well, bad news, we'll give you 5. And later, bad news, we'll give you 1. And they filmed the 1, and it was so bad. You can actually see the footage on some of the behind the scenes.
I think I've seen that footage. Now that I think of it,
it's on the same par, just above Power Ranger villain, if you can imagine.
Okay, yeah.
It's a little bit more than that. It has some. It looks pretty cool, but they said the test footage with it together just didn't look right. So
yeah.
But I wanted someone to throw rocks at me because I felt it would be more dramatic.
So, Drew, do you know if the one in Galaxy Quest they did that as an homage?
I don't know, but I could so see them doing that.
Yeah.
Right. That would be hilarious if they did.
I mean, I guess it's a missed opportunity then, or kind of good that Sean Connery wasn't in this, because then I'd want him to say, "Welcome to the Rock."
Even though that movie didn't exist yet.
I don't care. In my universe, it does.
In that case, he should have been played by Vin Diesel, so he could say, "Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?"
I think you mean Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. There.
But hey, it's all about
Vin Diesel. Can you smell what the family's cooking?
It's really pitch black in here. Okay, so that was yours, Tim, and I'm actually going to go right into that because that idea that Kirk posits, like, what does God need with a starship, I think is a very poignant question that I think some people may not sort of reflect on and think about, and I think that is, I liked seeing those sort of theological questions being asked in a movie. So I was like, I was taken aback with joy at that line. I'm like, oh wow, okay, cool, you're going there. That's fantastic. So that's my classic maker. It's just that line.
And it's really interesting when you look at Kirk, because Kirk's never been one to ever express like a belief in a higher power or anything like that. He's always been, very self-reliant, or I'm going to rely on my crew. They're going to be the ones that's going to get me out of trouble. Yeah. And yet for Kirk to be the one going, what does God need with a starship?
Mm-hmm. It's more of a philosophical question, which is great. That, but yeah, I guess I could see what you're saying, Tim, is that he doesn't seem like the philosophy type. but I guess there's different aspects to people that we just don't know. That leaves Paul, though. What is your classic maker for Star Trek V: The Final Frontier?
Well, as you mentioned before about disagreeing with Drew being with the classic maker being the campfire scene, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to agree with Drew because that for me it's by far the most memorable scenes. That's the one thing that I remembered most after 30 years of watching it and really enjoying. And it's great to see these characters that I've loved watching and in another film. So and having them in that environment I thought was great. So
all right, I mean,
and bear in mind this was the last film the entire cast was on the same ship at the same time.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's fair, and we'll get to that in a bit. But I will say I'm not opposed to them having this campfire scene as much as I'm giving Drew a hard time, and now Paul apparently. There's just one element that I'll bring up in a bit that I am quite.
Hey, that owl was cool.
That owl was
Whatever
fine.
you say, Roll.
That's not what I'm talking about at all. But you know what, guys, that we can't just talk about likes forever and a day. Even though there might be one or two more for this movie, let's. Oh, you know what? You know what, guys?
You forgot something, didn't you?
No, just we're sharing the things we liked, and I wanted to share something else I liked with everyone, and that would be the Cellcast. The Cellcast, hosted by Jacob and Drew, review animated movies and TV shows, discussing what they appreciate about the medium in whatever form it takes. Whether it is a traditional hand-drawn animated movie, claymation shorts, or a 3D CGI series, or maybe a rock monster, check out some animated reviews when you subscribe to the Cellcast at thecellcast.podbean.com. And don't forget, the Cell is spelled with a C and a single L at thecellcast.podbean.com.
And I swear we'll finish reviewing Star Trek Lower Decks Season 5 eventually. I've been behind on editing.
Understandable. And Francisco, much like what does God need with the starship, what does the Cellcast do with Star Trek 5?
Oh, sorry, I forgot we were talking about Star Trek 5. I was just like, I was overcome with wanting to share something that I liked that had nothing to do with this 2-rate second class movie.
Wow, there's a throwback to maybe 3 people who know that.
Exactly.
2 of them are on this show.
Wow.
At least.
But no, that's there. You know what, Paul? There's nothing related to this other than Drew and Jacob are covering Lower Decks Star Trek on their show.
And eventually, we are planning on covering the animated series.
That was my next question. So thank you.
You know what? I saw an episode of that. I'm like, wow, this is actually
it's a lot better
great.
than you think it is.
Yeah.
It's not to say there's not some goofiness in there, but because it is a 70s Saturday morning cartoon.
Yeah, but it's so cool. That's the actual cast that voices all the characters. I was like,
most of them.
All of them. Let me live in my delusion.
That
Chekhov is not in that show.
Sadness.
No. Well, he's not in Star Trek, the original series when Khan takes over anyway. But
yeah,
he did write and direct an episode of the animated series though.
Wait,
oh, cool.
I thought he was with Khan. He got the ear thing in his ear.
No, in the original series.
In the original
episode, he was not there.
Gotcha. I see where.
But even though he recognizes him, but
I mean, and you know what? Not everyone would know that trivia about Chekhov. Speaking of trivia, how about some trivia about Star Trek V, guys?
Star Trek V, yes.
Yes. Did you all realize this is the final film voyage of the complete original crew? That's like what Drew was just alluding to, of the USS Enterprise. Although there would be one more film, Star Trek VI, Undiscovered Country, featuring the original cast, Sulu is no longer a member of the Enterprise. He's captain of the USS Excelsior in that film. So with that in mind, my question to you all is, which original series character, Star Trek original series, would you like to see adventures about while they're captaining their own ship, their own starship? So let's begin with Paul.
My I just immediately go to Chekhov because he's the comedy relief in that. So I think it would be fun to see more of that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Attention, Klingon vessel.
How about you, Tim?
Well, kind of because I actually know that in canon it has actually happened.
Oh.
Uhura.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Because in fact, part of the lore from Picard season 2 was when they're in Starfleet Academy. There's a ship called the USS Leondegrance, which is an homage to one of Patrick Stewart's characters from the movie Excalibur.
Oh, cool.
Captain of the USS Leondegrance was Captain Nyota Uhura.
Oh.
And it was used as a training ship in which a lot of your cadets, including a cadet Picard, took their first warp jump.
Oh, that's cool. I'd like to see that. In fact, hey, Chekhov.
Bring up the video.
All right, there. Let's watch it.
How about you, Drew?
I'm gonna have to go with Bones because I just like the idea of
a cranky old starship captain
cussing out some Klingons who are attacking some poor colony of Tribbles or something.
That's fun.
I'm a captain, not a doctor.
I told him I was wrong for this job. They tried to retire. They bringing me back, put me in command of a starship. Dang it, Jim! Why didn't you tell me this was like this?
My word. I wish DeForest Kelley had lived long enough for him and Carl Urban to do
great actor.
some sort of like new Kelvin universe, original series universe with them two as Bones, because I like them both so much as Bones. But but yeah, and there's your trivia, guys.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And while we're thinking about it, we can pause it while we get some feedback from you
Dang
guys.
it! Oh my gosh. Of course, there's one thing I'd forget.
While
Again,
I unpin
Tim,
the
this
Christmas
never
story.
happens. This is exactly. This is the first time ever.
Oh, well, hold on. We can put some music on for Francisco.
You're hilarious.
Right?
Drew, why are you commenting on this?
Because I can. Doesn't everybody?
Well, you're on the show, though. Okay.
Yeah, but you don't give others grief when they comment when they're on the show.
Don't I? I figured I did.
No, I usually do.
Well, I never read your comments, Paul.
I give them grief for commenting.
Oh, okay. I see.
I just do it for fun because to mess with you.
Fair enough.
Let's have fun.
Let's see. Okay, fine. I'll include yours, Drew. Fine. You want to play hardball?
Drew read it?
I'm game. Then we have to get him the notes.
Oh, okay. We don't want him that involved.
Hang on, is it on Facebook?
Yeah, but I'm bringing him into our notes app.
Yeah, but what he's saying is he could read it from Facebook.
Oh, I guess you could. Sure. We'll have you read yours.
Find it first.
Well, don't worry. He has more. He's not done yet,
Yeah,
so you have a little bit of time. You do. Sorry, my music isn't that long because I don't want to get beeped for copyright music.
Yeah, no, don't want to do that.
That is very fair.
One thing I noticed, I don't know if you're like on the production side of it. Anyone notice the corridor when they had the jailbreak scene out of the brig?
You mean the Wile E. Coyote hole that blew out, or do you mean behind that?
Well, it was after that.
Okay.
So yeah, after they're running, trying to get to where the auxiliary communications console is if you look when they went to Red Alert, and everyone's they're coming out. Oh, they're running down the corridors.
Yeah.
The corridors are the next generation corridors.
That's right.
Oh, cool.
They do the same thing in 6.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's like
they were both filming at the same time, and Paramount doesn't like to give Star Trek any money.
Right. and I'm just sitting there like, I don't think Constitution class ships had corridors that big.
No. Well, they did in 6. That's what it was.
And 5 apparently.
In 5, yeah. Going forward, they did. That's when they moved over.
But yeah, they're running through there, and it's like, I know those walls. I know those doors.
I did not pick up on that at all. So,
But how much Next Gen have you watched?
Well,
I've seen all of Next Gen. Thank you very much. One time through.
The what is it? The Nimbus 3, that area where the cat lady is dancing. That's 10 Ford that was repurposed.
Oh, really?
It goes on to be 10 forward.
Oh my word!
I can't find this. I should be able to though. That's what's making me.
That was the most depressing dance I've ever seen in my life. It was like, especially when they show her face, she's like, "I'd rather be anywhere but here."
Yeah,
pretty much.
Which, can you blame her?
No, not really.
Of course,
oh,
that
I
was
do have other music. Hold on. It's perfect intermission music.
I can't find it to read it.
All right.
No worries.
We'll
We've got it. Yeah. I think I'm ready now, Paul.
All right.
I just got it from the main post. I didn't look if there's any in the. We're streaming tonight.
Oh, I don't remember that either.
There wasn't because I think that's where I was looking.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Can't find the other post.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
All right.
All right. Ready, Francisco?
Yes. End of Edna mode, Francisco, from the future.
All right.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Great. Yes. Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And, excuse me, now as I burp. Let's try that again. Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our rad rewinders, had about Star Trek V.
Or 5. Benjamin T. Van Dypen says, I recognize it's not what it should have been, but I have a soft spot for 5, or V, he says. And I'll watch it over the drag that is Star Trek 1 any day. Nice.
I may have an opinion lato
Okay.
Yeah. I think you have one before. But anyway, David Bobby says.
One now.
Bobo says, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you have to watch this. I'll spare you my memories so you can jump to the worst woes portion of the show, because I just know that's going to last at least 45 minutes.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and talk about this now. We have luckily Tim on, who actually picked this episode. Mm-hmm. Why did you pick this episode? Just out of curiosity?
Well, honestly, I kind of felt it was kind of an underserved Star Trek film.
Okay, well, we're serving it. I don't know what we're serving yet, but we're going to serve it.
I may have should have said, let me pick something else here.
So was this something that you like, just out of curiosity, was this something that you liked and you thought, oh, this would be fun? Or this is something like, oh, this is something that I hate and I want these guys to stir in the or is it just like you said, it's just it's not often actually discussed in depth?
Well, I mean, what I recalled of it was that I kind of liked it.
Okay.
And two, it's kind of a combination of kind of liking it and also kind of thinking, well, no one really talks about it that much.
Yeah.
It's always, everyone always focuses on the ones around it, 4 and 6, and it's just like, which for good reason. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I think eventually we'll probably hit all of the first 6 movies. So I mean, we had to get this here eventually. So thank you.
You only got 2 left.
3 and 1, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Which I like 3. I don't know why people are
then there's
mean
4
to 3.
TNG movies.
What was it?
Then there's 4 TNG movies.
Yeah, we're not getting there right now. Drew Dodgen. Oh,
who's that?
Speaking of, you ever watch a movie for our RRP review and realize about 10 minutes into it that, holy crap, Francisco is probably going to like this? We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I will.
We all know Francisco doesn't like movies.
Okay. Admittedly, when I left that, I was about 10 minutes in, and my first thought was, oh, this actually does kind of seem like something Francisco would like. Crap.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's all right. Because Kevin Joshua Burnham says he remembers enough to know that it really was not the final frontier.
Indeed.
Nathan
James Norman says, Cat Lady attacking Kirk, Uhura's fan dance eye roll, or fan dance, and then he gives an eye roll. Why does God need a starship? But the scene where Kirk tells Bones we need our pain is worth all the cringe in the film. Ooh, that's good.
That was good. I liked that part too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
Jeremy-
was almost my classic maker right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. Jeremy Shields says, I saw it in Lebanon, Missouri,
Oh, okay.
with cousins on vacation. They were so excited for it to finally come out to the one theater they had in town where movies came after they had completed their initial run in the cities.
Oh, okay.
Months after, usually.
Oh, wow.
So I enjoyed it back then, but as a critically thinking adult, I'm afraid to watch it again.
Oh. And
We watched it so you didn't have to.
There you go.
well, we don't know that. We may all rate it classic and say people have to watch it. So, Wardale White, though, ends by saying it's better than the original motion picture, but still the weakest of the 5 sequels. Well, maybe there's good reason for that, and we'll get into discussing that as we talk about our dislikes. Alice, boot that up for us.
Worst woos.
All right, let's begin. I'm going to start with Paul this time. What's one thing you disliked about Star Trek V?
All right, Star Trek V. And as people of the 80s know, and a little bit later, that V was a series where aliens came down and invaded Earth
Yeah.
I am so
secretly, and I was
thinking that.
so hoping, Star Trek, and they have V, and how they're gonna
It's like a
what they're gonna
crossover.
do.
Oh, that's cool.
It was a great combination story idea, but is there V? No, 1 star. No, that's not my dislike, but I just threw that in there for fun. They did some kind of hokey things that just don't make sense. Like if you listen.
Oh,
when
yes. Like Row, Row, Row Your Boat is your favorite campfire song? Really, Kirk? Really? There's tons of maybe some old cowboy like harmonicas
It
or
was an
something. No.
easy
Row,
one for
row,
people
row
to
your boat.
remember or
Yeah.
to learn.
Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Really.
Camptown Races is harder to learn.
I
Okay?
don't care. It's at least a bit more
But
interesting.
Moons over Rigel 7. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no like futuristic campfire songs. Maybe we can all learn a new one. No, we go with Row, Row, Row Your
Yeah,
Boat.
like Moons Over Rigel 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So
And what else doesn't make sense? When Klingons shoot an old Earth satellite, it screams. Like what the hell? And then when the not God person zaps Kirk, you get a reaction from everyone on the ship going, "Whoa!" Like they can see what's going on. Then
Yeah.
There's a good reason the satellite screamed. It's a relative of V'ger.
Right.
a V'ger. Who's V'ger?
Yes. Well, Francisco,
Trek
you
one,
haven't
you-
seen 1 yet, so
Right.
you have to go back and watch that,
Oh,
and then
okay.
re-listen to Drew's joke and laugh for 5
Okay.
Please, I didn't even get that here from the people who know what I was talking about.
Right.
Me
Don't worry,
laugh?
Francisco.
I thought I
It's
hated
so
movies.
worth it. Just for that joke alone, it's worth
but
it.
I did think that when I saw the little panel on the side.
Right.
Like I was like, oh, I wonder if that's one of the Voyager satellites.
Yeah.
It's like V'ger's crying right now.
Oh my word.
So anyway, there were things that didn't make sense to me that I thought didn't make the movie all that much better for, and those are just a few examples.
Okay, and I mean I went right into mine with the Row Boat. That's really just like I could not believe that Kirk is seriously saying that was his favorite. So we'll just go. That was my first dislike.
Well, it's got to be somebody's favorite.
If you're 2, Tim, what's something you didn't like about this film?
Okay, so at the point where the Enterprise gets us, it's kind of like a logic question.
Oh, okay.
So or at least a logic issue within the story. This is like, so when the Enterprise gets assigned to go do the rescue mission at Nimbus 3,
Yeah.
and they're telling, and Kirk's like, "Do you not see the condition that the Enterprise is in right now?" And the guy's like, "Are there any other ships that are closer?" He's like, well, we got these commanders out there, but ain't none of them got no experience." I'm thinking, wait, you're Starfleet.
This is how they get experience.
They're like, hey, how did they get to become commanders of a starship
Without experience.
without experience?
I mean,
It's like,
what if
that's the whole point?
Yeah.
Kirk went through so much of this in the original show? What if somebody had thought, oh, that's not, Pike or whatever. how would Kirk get this experience?
Yeah.
Right.
Fair point.
That's a good point.
Yeah. No, that's
Well,
Kirk
you know.
was in a wheelchair, so what do I know?
Yeah.
Drew, were there any sort of logical inconsistencies that made your first dislike?
Oh,
or was it
yes.
something else? Oh, okay, go for it.
It's a certain turbo lift shaft that
Oh
has,
yes.
somehow 86 floors on a 23 deck ship, and
Oh.
they're all out of order.
Yes.
I was wondering about that. Like, how many decks are supposed to be on the ship? I had
There's
no
only
idea.
supposed to be 23, and there's only I don't know where on the ship you can actually get to all 23 decks in one central shaft like that. There's
Maybe
no straight line
Okay.
on the Enterprise.
can I
that long?
You know what? Maybe this was a horizontal shaft, but because of the gravity inside the shaft, it makes it look
That
vertical.
is not how gravity in Star Trek works.
Hey,
No, they shifted it.
they
for that-
shifted in that area.
Yeah.
So they did like a.
Then they need to shift it back so they could just walk.
Well, that would have been
That would've
helpful.
helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have been actually. I don't
And then
know.
they'll get 86 decks.
This
when
is
there's
hard
only-
sci-fi. What do you want?
I
don't
thought
know.
you were gonna say, how does Spock leave and get boots and then come down? Not
Oh, that's
up,
an issue
but
too.
down.
The
I
sequence
mean,
is
yes.
stupid. And I also love how you can tell there's just a matte painting at the top from the very moment they walk into that thing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna edit mode real quick because for some reason Tim's not video isn't
mode.
showing up anymore. I see him
Oh,
in
yeah.
Video Ninja.
Drop. But you're here, Tim. Don't worry. We
Yeah,
see you, but the people online don't see you.
Yeah, and talk real quick, Tim, because I'm not sure I'm hearing you even. Yeah, I'm not. So
I
let
can.
let me see
I can.
what I can do. I know you guys can because you're in the Video Ninja, but that's not transferring to OBS. So give me a second.
Oh, Video Ninja.
Oh my gosh.
Really obvious.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Let me try this first.
I kid, but I'm still waiting for him to work out all the bugs so that I can steal this.
Oh,
around.
there I am. Okay.
I mean, I can tell you how to do this, Drew. That's not an issue. But there we go. Yes.
Can
now
you
we
hear
got
me now?
I'm sure it's cheaper than Restream.
It is, but you have a bunch of foibles you have to overcome all the time. So it's like, do you want easy or do you want cheap?
You know, once
Can't have both.
Exactly.
once I get the internet problem figured out, I'll let you know.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
All right, but so I'm back. You got me now,
yes,
Francisco.
yes, I'm seeing you back now. Let's see, and it was
Woohoo.
Drew. You're just telling us the logic. What was the logic?
Yes,
thing?
the logic of that turbo shaft is just confusing to me.
Gotcha. Yeah, I can totally get that. Let's go back to Tim for your second dislike.
Ooh, second dislike. Let's see. How disappointing was the trip through the galactic barrier?
Kind
To
of.
the galactic barrier?
Through the galactic barrier
Oh.
to Shakari, because we're told no one's ever made it through the galactic barrier. It's all built up to be this big. It's gonna
Especially,
destroy the
yeah,
and it's like all you do is just
especially
it's
when
like
you com-
turbulence. You're just flying a plane.
Yeah. especially when you compare it to what happened in the episode where they went through the other galactic barrier and it nearly destroyed the ship and
Nearly
turned
destroyed
the
the
guy
ship,
into a
right?
cop.
And it's
Well-
like this one is like there was no danger at all to the Enterprise. No.
Or anyone on board.
Or anyone on
actually,
board,
I-
right?
relieved and appreciated there weren't these random 3D heads popping up as they were going through
Did that happen in the episode or something?
in 4
In Star Trek
Uh,
4, yeah.
when they went through time.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember
No,
that.
the
yeah.
episode, it was just a bunch of flashes and them shaking the ship because it's a 60s era television show with no budget.
Yeah.
Right. But and even that looked better than what we saw in 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more believable.
I feel like it was underwhelming. I mean, it kind of looked cool but it didn't seem all that. Yeah, I guess it would have been cooler if there was something more to it, or there was an explanation of, oh, it was all an illusion to keep people out of here, and it was for this reason. But we never get any of that.
I took it as like Cybok figured out a way, so he either programmed something.
Oh, he said
or-
barrier, share your pain with me, so that
no,
you
but
can
he
let us
figured
through.
out a. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah, he talked to the ship. You're right. You're
But
right.
here's the thing, Paul.
Yeah.
If it were that, why couldn't God have left the barrier without the starship?
Well, that's a spoiler for what they find out later. They didn't come to that logical conclusion at that
I'm
point.
just saying, how is Cybok better than this quote-unquote almighty God?
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, if they just had some, sparking consoles like they seem to do at every other Star Trek.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
true. It certainly could have upped the drama. Sure.
Indeed.
Hey, the Klingons didn't have trouble getting
Shields
through it
dropping,
either.
Captain.
Yes.
Yeah, and so I'll go to my next dislike because it's sort of related to that, and it's that I felt like there seemed to be